This episode of Cinema Swirl is brought to you with the support of our backers over at patreon.com/Cinema Swirl. On Patreon, we release a bonus episode every month for $5 OTP backers. Our most recent episode has been a review of The Last Jedi. Yeah, we did The Force Awakens, now we've done The Last Jedi. It's not a Cinema Swirl, it's something in between, but it's a bloody good chat about Star Wars. There's so much Star Wars stuff on the Patreon, by the way. We've covered the entire prequel trilogy, we've done the Clone Wars, we're now doing the new ones, the ones. So if that sounds of interest to you, and you also want to listen to all the previous episodes of Cinema Swirl, there's like 80 something of those now, then head on over to patreon.com/Cinema Swirl to find out a bit more. Alright, let's get swirling.
Cinema Swirl! You've got some free time, so listen to this, episode number 139, coming to you from a podcast about movies in Hollywood, California, with me, your old pal, Father Kevin Mahon, and my OTP, Sam Chaplin, who's not seen any of them, so he hasn't.
I've not seen any of them, apart from the 138 previous films that we've done, but beyond that, I've not seen many films. That's the premise of the podcast, by the way. I feel like we've maybe drifted away from reminding people. I haven't seen loads of stuff, and Kevin has, and that's the gimmick.
Yeah, Sam did point out to me, and it has been pointed out in the comments, that the child now, the previously mentioned child,
your child,
has in fact seen less movies than Sam.
Yeah.
However, child has also watched all the movies for Cinema Swirl and Cinema Swill since being born.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep pace with you at the very least.
I feel like via osmosis there will be film knowledge kind of seeping in. I mean, how old was I when we started Cinema Swirl?
What, 6, 7, was it?
Yeah, so by that point the knowledge will be there.
Well, Sam,
oh no, I didn't even fucking notice
you
it.
didn't even notice. Look at you.
Boo.
He's been brutally culture mugged by me into literal NPC status while I'm here slang maxing, while you're just over there jester maxing like a fool. You see, Sam, I with the child, the slang, they started bullying me because they didn't know all the slang and all that, and I was like, I didn't even know goo goo gaga was a thing. I was trying to keep up with 6, 7 and frame mugging, but here we are now with and bleh.
And you're talking about your child, not Baby Yoda from that Star Wars program that was also referred to as the child. So the child, yeah,
also known as Onion for those of you who like a little bit of characterization.
Sure.
A little bit kind of like, what are they? They're roughly the size of a very small roast chicken, like you might get from a Morrison's when all the other bigger chickens have been plucked away by hungry shoppers on the weekend.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to Cinema Swirl.
Sam, to movie du jour is a movie that I have perhaps beat around the bush a little bit about actually saying the name of.
Yeah.
Because it is a word that I have famously struggled with.
Is
so
it?
Over to you, Sam.
Labyrinth.
Isn't he good? Isn't he good?
No, I don't want to put you on the spot or make anything difficult for you. But what is the stumbling issue here? Like, what's...
I spent around 25 years of my life calling it Labyrinth. And then, this is the thing, right? When you're a world traveler, you're an immigrant like me, I may seem like a free thinker and a free spirit to you, but I often don the cloak of excessive spoonerisms to hide my perhaps intentions of mispronouncing things, not on purpose sometimes.
Yes.
And so as a result, when it was pointed out to me by my wife, then intern and girlfriend Jo, that I had called it Labyrinth and that was wrong, my immediate defensive reaction, we've all been there, guys, was to say, no, that's how we say it in Ireland. So that bought me around 5 or 6 years of not ridicule, of deferred ridicule. And then when my family were visiting at one point, I don't know how the topic of David Bowie's Labyrinth came up, but Joe was like, "Is it true, Kevin's entire family, that you say he pronounced it this way?" And boy, oh boy, she, like, all I can say is she had to get in line to ridicule me because how dare you? And it was the greatest betrayal of the Irish nation we have ever seen since Eamon de Valera's shocking betrayal that I hid behind my culture to try. And I knew I just said it wrong, but you know what? I thought I could get away with it, and here I am now reviewing Labyrinth.
Now, Kevin, to maybe make you feel better, and I think I have spoken about this before, but I've completely lost confidence in my ability to say the month before March.
Feb.
I've started saying Feb because it's that pesky R before the February. I used to be so free of saying it, and now I'm overthinking every time.
Just say it with the confidence of a US YouTuber using Worcester sauce. Just go Worcestershire sauce. You fucking English limey cock sucking motherfuckers. What's this, Liam Peller's Worcestershire sauce? It fucking sucks like you, man.
February. February.
I call it February. 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 It's not bad, is it? Oh no, what's wrong? Oh, I ordered something off eBay, but it's been delivered by February, and they're the worst. That's what Yodel turned into after that lawsuit. No!
I've been calling it Yodely. Anyway, right, but we're in the safety of March, and we are reviewing Labyrinth.
Show off. And that's the thing is, you're gonna say it and gonna repeat it. Like, to show how well you can say it. Whereas me, every time I say it, it's like picking at an old scab. If I say it wrong, awful. If I say it correct, even worse. I will be no longer referring to the title of this movie or any. I hope there's not a big maze in this movie. Sam, the movie du jour.
Yeah.
I may have buried the lead a little bit with revealing who one of the stars is.
I knew that.
You knew that. Yeah. That's okay. You knew that. What else do you know? Have you heard of? Have you tasted? Have you smelt? Have you touched about that movie that we're doing today?
Okay, so with Labyrinth.
I'm going to call it Lab. You call it Feb, I call it Lab.
With Lab. So it's not this one. It's not that one. That's a different Labyrinth.
What's Pan's Labyrinth? Sure, me and the lads down in Galway, we're all going to go see Pan's Labyrinth at the weekend, so we are.
Yes, sorry, for listeners, I'm doing hands and I'm wiggling them in front of my eyes, like Pan's Labyrinth. It's not Pan's Labyrinth. It's not Pan Lab.
It's not.
It's not Pan Lab. It's not Nintendo Labo. Right. Hoodoo, voodoo, you do... Remind me of the boy?
Okay.
Is that anything? Is that...
It wasn't where I thought we'd start.
Reminds me of the
Sam,
boy.
Did someone quirky say that to you in a nightclub back in Lincoln?
Probably.
Did someone with an interesting belt buckle say that to you at a
it's
nightclub?
One of them. I feel like I've heard people do this line. Honestly, other than that, and David is in it, and there must be some sort of maze.
Is he in the maze? Did he make the maze?
He feels like the Richard O'Brien. You know how there was a crystal maze? This is just a maze. And I feel like David Bowie's kind of the presenter of Labyrinth. David Bowie's Labyrinth. And I don't, it's fantasy. It's
calling
fantasy.
It David Bowie's Labyrinth takes it from like a Hollywood movie to like an ITV Christmas special.
Well, he was replaced by Pan later on, but I remember the David Bowie days, and that's what we grew up on back on CITV in the 80s or whatever.
Now, Sam, you come from the generation of British men whose mother won't hear a bad word said about David Bowie.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get to this.
Our mums swear he did nothing wrong, and our dads assure us that John Lennon was just writing songs about drugs. He wasn't taking any drugs. He's not a degenerate. He's one of the greatest artists of our time.
No. So David Bowie. Bowie or Bowie? Bowie? Bowie.
It's always Bowie.
Bowie?
David. Now, that's the thing, right? You never hear anyone go, David Bowie. They always go, David Bowie.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
What does Ricky Gervais call him in the extras?
I can't remember. But look, much beloved. If you do a bit of Wikipediaing / Googling,
Has he got a controversy section?
There is some stuff.
What stuff?
It's one of those ones, right, where this has happened a lot in the last 10 years, where someone dies, everyone's really sad, and then within about, 2 hours, you're not allowed to be sad because of historical stuff you didn't know that has come out, and I'm not, it's one of those where it comes in waves.
He does not have a controversy section on his Wikipedia page.
Okay.
What? Oh, it's our mums have been at it again, haven't they? I knew that IT course we sent them on.
That's just
personal. It was the 70s. It was the style at the time.
They've moved it from controversy to personal, and that's actually his personal business. So I don't think we should put him
personal business is what it is. So obviously you like music and all sorts.
Yeah.
So tell me about the music of DB, David Bowie. Is it important to you? Will it impact your enjoyment of him in an acting role? Because obviously we're getting title billing here from this musician, are we not?
Yes, yeah. So I'm not a big Bowie fan, but I'm a sort of casual listener. I like, the main hits, the one that was in Skate 1, the one that was in the Little Big
We
Planet
could be
platform
skaters just for one day, because we didn't get the extensive additional paid for content that Skate 3 requires. That's for you, Sam. That's like,
thank you.
They've done you dirty. This show, right? I'm going to give it a decade of free publicity. And I'm not saying we caused it, but we were part of whatever analog to a groundswell of momentum bringing back Skate could have potentially hoped for.
Yeah.
And they threw it in your face.
I've played very little of Skate 4.
I can tell you play very little Skate 4, Sam, because you're not coming to me today on YouTube with a barrel and straps, the pauper's uniform, for having been fleeced for every penny that you have. The logo for this podcast hasn't got Sam with 2 outturned pockets with a fly coming out, shrugging because he's spent all of his money on a video game.
Pauper is a great thing that I don't know.
I love a pauper.
A pauper's whatever is always
a pauper's grave.
Yeah,
a pauper's feast.
You join us here on a Pauper's podcast.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
No microphone, it's just a tin can with some string. Right, what always? Oh, I liked the one in Skate. I like the one in Sackboy's Big Adventure. I like the ones you hear on the radio or
we
on the
could
playlist.
Be Sackboys.
Yes. Put on your red shoes and wear red shoes. He's a popular figure. I'm just not a big part of my life, really.
The man can write a song, though, Sam.
Oh,
right?
yeah. No one's arguing that, I don't think. He's got tunes.
I'm just interested that his Wikipedia page has not got a controversy section, but it does have a section entitled Websites.
Oh, okay.
David Bowie has launched 2 personal websites during his lifetime. No posthumous websites as time of record.
No.
There's none of that. So,
in terms of his acting work, I think I only really know the turn he did in Extras.
Really?
And I don't know if I've seen him act in anything else.
Have you got any idea of any of the other players involved in this?
Nope.
Or who's... Because I think... I don't want to spoil it because there's a pretty heavy list of big creative figures who are bringing us this piece today, many of whom have been featured on recent episodes, some of which may have had controversy in the comments because someone didn't like it the way they were meant to, and maybe just tried to do a good podcast. That's all right, though, isn't it?
Okay, right. So there might be puppets.
The Guarantee there are no Muppets in this, because if there was, I'd be doing this under duress.
Yes, but there might be puppetry or Henson special effects or something that might be... Okay. Didn't know that.
It's a beloved movie, all right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not one of the movies that I would have based a personality around in my early to mid 20s.
No, but you've seen it.
I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
This was a proper Saturday afternoon classic. Childhood. This was my childhood. This and all the like school and mass and the dinners I ate and the things like that. But this was part of it.
So Sophie, my fiancée, she loves this movie. She's been, hammering on for me to watch this for a long time.
Sorry, Sam, just take it from a man who's taken it from fiancé to wife.
Yeah.
Phrases like hammering on, you want to drop those.
No. She's been hammering on.
How does she be hammering on? Because I think a ball and a chain would be a difficult hammer instrument.
Yeah.
Hear that, fellas?
Look, the ball and the chain has somehow acquired a hammer and is hammering on at me.
I know what you're thinking. The chain chomp has gotten the hammer from Donkey Kong, and it's a very scary bit of business.
I've said this before. I want to protect what I see, as I'm going to say, a British institution of sort of slagging off your partner and kind of making out that they're annoying. I think that's important.
Phew, because I thought you were about to refer to Cinema Swirl as a British institution. I'd be like, excuse me. This is an institution of the fractured British Isles, okay?
I do have to, on certain platforms that this goes out on, tell it which language we're speaking, and it is English brackets United Kingdom. There are other ones you could pick, but I've gone to that. On the basis that we're in the United Kingdom, I think was my thinking there, and that I'm not Irish. So I don't think I could say that I'm... You know what I'm saying?
Sam, mentally I'm in Mullingar, I think, all times.
Yeah, sure.
I'm astral projecting to the Joe Dolan statue on Mullingar Square, all right? That's where I am, all right? And that's fine, because I've learned to do that and my job at the same time. I'm not going to lie, Sam. The fact that it's your partner is one of their faves.
Yeah.
And they have been, quote unquote, what was this? Nagging the ever-loving bejesus out of you? Jesus...
Giving it a bit of this, and I'm doing a kind of chatty, giving it a bit of this, giving it the big one.
Bit of this, bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've not gleaned any more about this. Does she respect the format of the podcast so damn much?
Yes.
That's impressive.
Which, if I'm... Also, I've realised, and I haven't actually done this, if I'm not interested in watching a film, I could always say, well, no, we've got to save that for Cinema Swirl. Even if it's like a very obscure film, I don't want to watch it.
That's very nice. Well, I'm glad that Sophie is at least not living up to her end of the great British tradition of undermining a male partner's interests.
No. So we do want to watch it, and we will watch it together, but I have for a while said... Well, no, we will do that on Cinema Swirl at some point. So don't tell me anymore.
So you're going to watch it together then, right?
Yeah,
with Stanley as well. And this is great. There's nothing quite like a romantic evening sitting down with your partner to watch their favorite movie.
Yeah.
And diligent note taking.
Yeah.
The smart. That's the third man in the relationship, folks. The diligent note taking. That's the spark right there.
I will be pausing and going, what did he say? And that's what the ladies love, isn't it? That's the joy.
I think, could be wrong, I think she might like that, because I think she might know some of the things that are being said. And I think, if anything, you're probably going to get a bit of a hand with this. You're going to get a little bit of extra help, aren't you?
I should hope so.
Over the line. So you're going to get the inside scoop and the inside track in a way that I couldn't possibly hope to, because I'm going to watch it with a 5-week-old baby. And honestly, their movie trivia know-how is lacking. They shit the bed at the pub quiz.
Yeah.
Literally, they shit their bed while I was at the pub quiz.
But other than that, I don't know what makes this special to people.
I think you like it.
Okay. Good.
It's very stylized. It's very distinct.
Yeah.
And I think it's perhaps just weird enough, quirky / silly enough. And also, I think that it's one of those things that if you love David Bowie, I think this is a great avenue. But if you really hate David Bowie, it's also a pretty good avenue. I think regardless of your level of it's a performance that I think you could look at and get out of it what you put in. So I think you're going to have a good time with this. I'm going to stake a small sliver of my reputation on saying that I think you're going to have a good time.
Okay.
Well, Sam, for the love of God, let's lead through this large maze, and hopefully at the end of it, there's a piece of mail and not a minotaur.
Welcome to the mailbag. Thank you as ever
Yes!
for your questions, queries, comments, bits and bobs into cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
Yes, please bagmax us at cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Brutally mail mog us into literal NPC status. Let's do it, baby.
Right, what you've just said there is going to be one of those things where if people listen back to Cinema Swirl in like 5 years' time, they'll be like, what? What was that?
That was the turning point, is what that was. That's when we reached a whole new damn level. Genuinely, if you want to know, Sam puts up little video clips on the TikTok and the Instagram and everyone's favorite nascent platform, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And when you put up the bit about me making a cake and going to the shop, there was a man wrote a comment and he said, "Bro is corner shop maxing."
Yeah.
And that's
go.
before I became even obsessed with it. So there you go.
There we go. And that one did the best. The corner shop
did.
one, it did.
It did.
You know the big viral moment I was trying to make out of the whole
No.
Just you're making a cake, bro.
Viral max whilst jester maxing.
Yes.
You can't dual wield maxings.
No, you can't.
You need a Mahon in there to even it out.
You can read questions, and this question comes in from Angelo, who writes the following. What happens when you watch a movie for the first time and hear the Wilhelm scream? Do you appreciate the shout out? Does it take you out of the movie because it makes you think about sound editing? Does it just wash over you? It feels like a former in-joke that has become too ubiquitous and well-known in the last 2 decades, and I apologise if even asking this question makes it more noticeable. Angelo. That's an interesting question.
It's interesting. Interesting, though, Angelo. What you wrote there, that's what I say every single time a Wilhelm screen comes up. I turn to whoever I'm watching the movie with, and I say that. Right,
Kevin, just as an example, I want you to do a kind of Wilhelm scream, if you could. Your best Wilhelm scream. I realise you've got a small child in the home, but if you can do a little Wilhelm scream, and I'll react how I react.
They're chill. Don't worry. Don't worry.
When I hear it. So there we go. Let's do it.
Nah.
Yeah. That's sort of.
Sometimes you might get a point in there as well. You might point if. Yeah. Or this is what I would do. Sometimes I'll go. You're making kind of a track thing because it's like, nah. You know, you can work with that.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll point out that it is the Wilhelm scream, and the other people I'm watching the film with, I'm like, just shut up. Can you just shut up and watch the...
And then I'll get the Wikipedia article for Wilhelm scream. And I go, look.
There's loads.
And then I go, why don't we watch the original movie that the scream is from? And then I put on Star Wars: A New Hope. And then someone goes, that's not it. It's that cowboy. And I go, shut up. It's my house. I'm watching. And then someone's like, oh, no, Kevin, don't put on the Blu-ray again. I go, shut up.
But it does actually take me out a little bit. But in the same way, because I did media at both college and university.
And you took Wilhelm as one of your units, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So any kind of filmmaking process does take me out of it a little bit. So whenever I'm watching a film, I'm already out of it. I'm not in. But
that's why I love process-free filmmaking, personally, you know?
No process.
I'll keep my processing for my dips for my pizzas, thank you very much. That's the only thing that I'm interested in, being ultra-processed.
What is an unprocessed film? What would that look like? Just watching like CCTV footage? Is that like the thing? Just like... There's no acting, no editing, nothing. That's what I want.
8 hours of body cam footage from a random county sheriff's department in Florida.
Yeah.
Put it on. There you go. Go to sleep to it. Wake up when the guns start shooting.
I'm waiting until they release the Snyder Cut. But it does... Yeah, it does take me out. But I always do think, oh, yeah, that's a Wilhelm scream. It's nice to have in jokes, though, right?
Yeah, but this is interesting because I think the thing came out recently, which is there's a new Scott Pilgrim video game that's come out, and it's like all the things that it's nostalgic for. It now feels like that's like 13 years after the fact.
Yeah.
So the thing that the game is apparently very nostalgic about is being nostalgic for things.
Right.
Like, remembering things back then. And I kind of feel like Wilhelm screams now aren't there to make you go, I grew up with that. It's more to make you think about thinking about something. There's this extra layer. There's this extra layer of fat that has been added when you do a Wilhelm scream. But fortunately, fat is delicious. So I'll guzzle it down anyway.
Yes. So thank you, Angelo, for your question. If you've got any further questions, queries, comments, other bits and bobs, get them in to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. Oh, did you notice what they did there?
I don't think the Wilhelm scream is like, They need to start putting Tim Allen in
I
films.
think so.
Yeah, just in the background.
And then people be like, do you know that's originally from Home Improvement? What's that? It was a SNES game, actually. It was a side-scrolling SNES game from the 90s. Yeah.
Right. Labyrinth.
Sam, have you ever been to a hedge maze, cornfield maze, or dare I say, a garden maze of any kind?
I have, yeah, many a time.
Have you had a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've not had a bad time in a maze, which could happen as a child.
Yeah, so you've never been lost in a maze.
What's the point of a maze, you know?
I think you're looking at two guys that if there was a window to get lost in a maze when you're like 3 or 4, it would have been us, wouldn't it?
Oh, 1,000%, yeah. We are lads who got lost in the maze.
He's lost in a maze and they've gotten sick in the maze. Follow the trail of sick.
In fact, it's one of those things where other personality quirks that we have, if you dig deep enough, you could be like, oh, well, it's because got lost in a maze.
Got lost in a maze, didn't they? Well, let's get lost in this Labyrinth maze. Let's go do a cinema swirl.
Hey.
And we're back. Sam, initial gut reaction to Labyrinth.
That was the most 1980s thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a good thing? Is that a good thing?
It's not a bad thing.
Sam, I'm a child of the 80s, all right? I was a child of the 80s, right? Because I was like fucking 1 when this movie came out.
When were you born? What year were you born?
I believe the personal information we kept to a minimum, my lord.
Oh, Christ.
What's your fucking national insurance number anyway, you prick? Huh? What's the first line of your address and postcode? What's your mother's maiden name? Huh?
Fine. In the 80s, though, you were technically alive in the 80s.
I was, as a matter of fact, acceptable in the 80s.
Yes.
Whereas Sam, he's a 90s guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of a crazy 90s guy. Looking at this being like, who even is that? I've told you, it's David Bowie.
It's Bowie heavy, this film.
You say that Bowie heavy in terms of energy, presence, the music, obviously. We'll talk about all of that. But in terms of the actual number of lines, dare I say, Sam, he's as an Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 1 kind of... He's like 27 lines in the whole movie, I think.
He's got stuff to say. He says quite a bit.
Lyrics don't count.
Well, then, okay, then maybe you've got a point. What I've realised about Bowie, everyone's impression of David Bowie is exactly what David Bowie sounds like. It's incredible. I don't think there's anyone else where, like...
Kermit the Frog and David Bowie, and that's why Jim Henson approached him, I believe. It's like, look, there's a lot of men who will really get a kick out of having a go at you, and Kermit's double booked. We can't have him in this one. Although Kermit as the Goblin King would have read very different. Could you imagine how upsetting the cod piece was?
Oh no. Oh no. The frog piece? No.
That's
a real shame. No matter how bad your Bowie impression, it will still sound like exactly how Bowie sounds in this.
Which honestly, Sam, very reassuring for both of us. I'm sure you can imagine. I'll expect Sam, not an impressionist. There's another word you used before for impressionist. What was it? Not a satirist.
Humorist.
Humorist.
I'm not a comedian. I'm a humorist.
I think, Sam, you may even have a go at doing a David Bowie impersonation later, even though it's odd you don't do impersonations. It's strange. It feels like you would.
The sort of thing I do.
You've got the build for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just crap at them.
It's like when people find out we don't play Warhammer anymore.
In my case,
We tried.
ever. But I did, again, it's one of those things where I watched my brother play it.
I was going to say, Sam, your brother played enough Warhammer for the both of you, I think. You know. Oh, no, that's not for me. That's Sam. Those are Sam's Tyranids. He's
Sure.
painting them. Sure he is.
I
Is he
believe
now?
him.
Right. Yeah. What a dream team, right?
Yeah.
David Bowie and Ricky Gervais. That's why Extra is available now wherever you get your comedy content. And we also have, of course, instead of Ricky Gervais, an actual comedy legend, Terry Jones of Monty Python fame. He wrote the screenplay. We got George Lucas. We got Jim Henson.
Wow.
Sam, it's a veritable smorgasbord of all the lads on the sides of the VHS boxes.
You can say smorgasbord, but not labyrinth.
Oh, is that a word which you struggle with?
No, I mean, but it sounds complicated, doesn't it? Smorgasbord.
Yes, we'll have the smorgasbord, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the dolphin noise potatoes, please. It's
It's why they don't serve them anymore. Because of all the problems with dolphins in the oceans. Yeah.
Well, you kind of buried the lead a little bit with the Jim Henson thing, but I thought there was just involvement of his, what's his thing? His Magical Mystery Tour. What's it called?
The Jim Henson Production Company.
No, but does he do sort of special, I can't remember what it was. Jim Henson's, puppets and shit.
Puppets and shit. I think that's the name of the group, Jim Henson's Puppets and shit, yeah.
But I didn't realise it was a full-on Jim Henson joint.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice, yeah.
And I will say now, as a result of the negative feedback from me only enjoying and not loving, retrospectively, the same way all of you grew up with this, loving A Muppet's Christmas Carol, I have a prepared statement.
Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry that I only enjoyed and didn't love A Muppet's Christmas Carol in the way that all of you who grew up with it did. I am 38 years old and have not been able to, in the 60 or so minutes of the review, fill in the amount of love that was required. However, I have a child now.
And that's the end of that, is it?
Yeah, I thought, fill in the blank, you can kind of,
Yeah.
Speaking as a father, that's, you know what I mean?
You can get away with anything now by just saying speaking.
I can. I've been stealing loads of stuff from Morrison's. I'm like, speaking as a father, I'm not going to weigh these lines. Fair play.
Now, you see Jim Henson, you think puppets. What you don't necessarily think is weird CGI owls that look. And I know this came out in the 80s.
No, you're not having a go with the CGI owls, are you? This was like, for Irish viewers, this is like seeing the Late Late Show of the future.
Yeah. Obviously for the time, this is good. And I mean this with love. I love how janky it looks. It looks like an animated GIF from the 90s. Like that. It's weird how that works.
It's an ambitious bird to animate, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to draw a bird, owl is probably 50th on that list. Some seagulls basically look like folded napkins. Have a go at that. Instead, people would have loved it.
Also, not really necessary to get the CGI owls in this. It was just a sort of, victory lap. They're showing off that they've got the tech.
The owls are not what they seem. They're actually David Bowie.
I just wanted to say, the owls are janky. To my taste, this opening song is crap.
Oh, Sam!
And
Are we actually in a situation where I'm going to be raving about music and you're like, whatever, man, music's kind of shit, and it's not Les Mis? Finally, my day has arrived.
It's charmingly crap. I'm not saying it has no value or that it's not enjoyable.
Super Nintendo Entertainment Baseline.
Mad how much the start of this film feels like a screensaver. It's crazy. I love it.
Where do you want to go today? Not to your dressing room, David. I've been warned. I took a course and I was told not to be like, if you leave the door open and there's another adult in there, maybe.
So, right, we start Labyrinth with our main character.
All right, show off. Start just saying it you know those people that casually cartwheel into the room like, all right, you fucking show off, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Just saying it, the hard word, all easy, like.
Sorry,
it's no big deal. That's how.
Kevin,
An extra layer to the deception. That's fine.
Like,
no. Twist the blades you plunged in my heart.
To me, it's like breathing. You know, I just say Labyrinth in and out all the time. I don't even think about it. It's unconscious. I'm just saying it.
I need to brace myself. Like, I'm about to, like,
Take
do a
run up.
fucking squat or something like that. Or, like, okay, here we go. Labbit. No!
That game they did with the Labbits and Mario was actually quite good.
Yeah.
It's a tactical thing. Right, so we open with our main character, Sarah, who I'll be calling Jennifer throughout the whole thing, because it's Jennifer Connelly, who I sort of know.
Or Jen Connolly, as her friends call her.
Yeah. So she's there. She's a child, sort of a teenager, I think. And it looks like she's in old-timey times, but she's not. She's rehearsing for a play, maybe, or something.
Sam, in the business, we call this running lines.
She's running lines.
She's running lines. She's running lines, and unfortunately, her scene partner, Merlin, he's no scene partner, because he's like, bow wow, I'm a dog. And I feel...
To be clear, literally a dog.
Literally a dog. Yeah. Not like me. But I feel that a dog that's very big and hairy, like this kind of dog is, and the meat of the dog is actually probably, because those big hairy dogs, it's probably like a whippet underneath there, whatever it is.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? Yeah, those Dulux looking motherfuckers. Yeah,
that would get Stanley's dander up. Like, that's the deception, almost. Do you know what I mean?
It would have done had Stanley not been literally fast asleep for the whole movie under a blanket. So we don't have any dander opinions from Stanley, because he just...
Can I just say as well, the child, similarly, asleep, curled up like an overcooked king prawn on my shoulder the entire time.
What a nice
Like, you wouldn't
image.
even, like, walking into the meeting, not even noticing that, oh no, that curry went askew. It's right there on the shoulder.
Curled up king prawn. So... She's running lines, and she goes home, and it turns out she's, you know, it's modern day as it was then.
Oh.
Her parents are going out. She's on babysitting duty, and she's like, I hate my life. It's shit. My parents want to... I don't even know what's wrong with her parents. Like, they want to talk to her or don't want to talk to her.
One of them is a stepmother, which is like a massive red flag
Then
in
fine.
the 80s.
Yeah.
Once it got into 2000s, everyone was like, step parents. And yeah, that was when step siblings. You fucking freaks. Imagine if my parents remarried. But it showed me how long I'd been since I'd seen this movie.
Yeah.
That it was like a revelation to me. Like, oh my God, that's Barb from Trailer Park Boys. A series Sam has definitely not seen to the best of my knowledge.
No.
And I'm not going to lie, you are dealing with someone now who is dealing with a great deal, not buyer's remorse, viewers regret. I should have watched this movie 100 times as many. I think I probably watched it twice.
Right.
In my entire life before. Fuck me, it's so good.
Did you watch it as a child?
I watched it when I was like, I'd say 8 or 9.
Okay,
And then I watched it again when I was a teenager. And both times I was like, that is certainly a Saturday afternoon. But I almost compared something like The Princess Bride, where like being owls is great. It's greatly... It's like black coffee. Being owl just makes it better.
Okay.
I can't say it any other way. It's like a plain boiled egg. Being owl just makes it great.
See, with me, I kind of feel like with this, a lot of the times I was thinking, if I'd have been a kid, I would have really got something out of this. But there's bits where I feel like I'm not fully invested. Interesting, though, isn't it?
And you might think, is it because he has a child now? No, it's not. Again, they weren't... At that moment, functionally, they were a king prawn. They were not a child.
At that point, the child was irrelevant to my thoughts.
It was.
Yeah.
It was, again, it was very much like I'd spilled Chinese takeaway on myself. Oddly as well, because she hates the parents.
Yeah.
Finds the stepmother terribly unsexy. Storms off to her room. There's a unsexy. Storms upstairs, and there's a crying baby. And I will say, if there was a moment in the whole movie that the baby was like, maybe I want to eat.
Was hearing another crying baby.
No, it settled her down again.
Oh, okay, right.
You know, maybe sometimes if Stanley is a bit like, maybe start going, like in his face,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think he'll
Ask
love
him
that.
theoretically if he wants to mess with the big dog.
That crying baby in this film is fucking terrifying, though. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh. Also, that's a real child? So they've got to just
No, that's also David Bowie. He's just very... It's my new era. I'm a baby.
Jim Henson's David Bowie.
Very good, Jim. Yeah, oh, he's a baby, so you don't recognize him. But it's him. Sure thing, Jim. Get out of here now, you chancer.
I felt bad for how much the baby was crying and looking kind of distraught. But it was the 80s. It was a different time.
That's it. It's a different time. And I think we've had back-to-back movies now with despondent children.
Yeah.
So worth bearing that in mind. I did get advice from a midwife, and they said, don't worry if your baby cries. Babies are meant to cry. Baby will cry when they're hungry, but baby will also cry when they're full. Baby will cry when they're sad, but baby will cry when they're happy. It's just like, what, is the baby going to be struck by the beauty of the moment? Just, no, I'm so excited for Jim Henson's puppetry.
Well, we see little glimpses because she's running those lines, and we see little goblins, which are... Right, I'm going to say this. The goblins are Muppet coded, and that's not a surprise.
Whoa, relegated to literal Muppet status. Are you serious?
They're getting Muppet mogged? No.
Look, Sam is Henson maxing here, folks, all right?
Yeah.
Which is it's a new thing for him. Now, I was wondering, with a puppet like this, that is, for lack of a better term, kind of like wet and slimy feeling.
Yeah.
Like cold to the touch. Does that enter into that world of stop motion claymation that ups? Oh, that's a big nod there.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
There's some of this is yucky. Some of this is fucking gross.
Are you telling us that even though the dog was legs akimbo in the land of Nod, Sam Leesdander got up in this one?
Yeah, I was legs akimbo in the bog of eternal stench. I was like, ugh. Some of
That's
these
fine. I want to leave it a few minutes there. But legs akimbo in the bog of stench here, if you know what I mean. So maybe light a match, mate, if you don't mind.
Sorry, not to skip ahead, but that's now made me picture the toilet water kind of bubbling and farting, which is a really funny image. That
I've done a few of those in my time. I usually out and about. I wouldn't dare do that in my own commode. Like, absolutely not.
So yeah, she's trying to get the goblins to take away the child because she's like, I hate being here and having to babysit and this crying baby. I wish everything would go away.
Technique. If you hate the crying baby, give it something to eat. Burp it. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, see what lies beneath. But invoking the Goblin King immediately, that's like, get the big three out of the way, then maybe consider invoking the Goblin King.
Look, mate, you're in the early stages of fatherhood. You're still basking in the glow. At some point, you're like, let's just get the fucking Goblin King. And there's no shame in it.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy it while it lasts.
I see parents all around. They're like invoking the Goblin King, getting the Goblin King to take the baby away. And I'm like, that's fine. That's okay.
They used to do that in the 70s, though, but instead of invoking the Goblin King, they'd invoke David Bowie. They're like, if you're not good, David Bowie will come and take you away. Yes, I will.
It all gets spooky and scary when she gets the right lines. There's all this stuff about what the correct little line at the end.
Yeah, they're pedants, these goblins, which is somehow even worse than being worse than being gross.
It must contain special characters. It's the wrong password. So that it's all getting spooky and scary, and then David appears. He's here. You got to just put a Z at the start of David.
Oh, that works. It's David.
David and Bowie.
Check your house for goblins, just in case.
Yeah.
Check your house for David Bowie as well, because he could be there. Look, let's all admit, let's call a spade here, folks.
Yeah.
He's not dead. Not really. Come on.
He's just hiding.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah,
him and Andy Kaufman are both dead. Two of the most notorious tricksters in the history of entertainment. I don't think so.
Now, Bowie.
Describe him for me. The look here, Sam. What have we got going on?
He looks like... Now, this is unfortunate because it is what he is. He looks like a pop star, but not David Bowie. He looks like a sort of...
An iteration of David Bowie, would you even say?
There's a glam rockiness. There's big blonde hair. There's tights.
He looks like a bartender that I would avoid.
Yes, yes.
You know, male or female, that haircut means I'm not getting a pint off of you anytime soon. You know, it's going to be a struggle. Like,
I can imagine for a number of people, young people watching this, there would have been some confused feelings around what they felt looking at Bowie here. I imagine a lot of people were, into that vibe.
It's less subtle than Robin Hood, let's just say.
Yeah. So I think this is a confusing film for a lot of people, I would imagine.
I know a lot of people tune in and be like, oh, God, come on, the step-parents aren't even sexy. Like, whoa, wait a second.
Hold on.
Check out the dick on the Goblin King there. Mahon. Oh, my God. It very much felt at any moment he could, do the spinal tap and remove the armadillo from his trousers wrapped in tinfoil,
Yes. Well, he does chuck a snake at her. And essentially what he's saying is like, I've taken the baby.
Which I keep calling a babe.
The babe.
The babe.
The babe. He's got the babe. And the babe is being kept... He'll keep the babe at a castle. And there's a labyrinth.
Yes.
Everything just turns into Fantasyland now. And importantly, I've brought you a gift. It's a crystal, nothing more. But it is more. It's everything. It's
loads of stuff.
Yeah.
The whole room is changed. I love that about the movie, that there's not this kind of is it a dream, is it not? Or does she go through the magical door of Dingley Doo and say, no, it's just, bam, here we are now.
Yeah.
Just fucking let's go. Like a movie that saw Wizard of Oz and went, fucking get on with this. We're off to the races.
Yeah.
We're off to the races, folks.
Well, she's got 13 hours to solve this labyrinth. Otherwise, the baby is the babe is permanently his babe. And over there is the castle in that painting over there, but you will physically have to go into it. Okay, there we go. There's our film. We just got to get through the labyrinth and get the baby.
And crystals will be a part of this. Obviously, a crystal orb. This is now, some young ones might be hearing this and being like, orb, what, is he considering or pondering it? No. This is classic old school crystal orb play here. As in, with the hands on. And it makes me wonder, Sam, did you know any orb people in your time? It's very much something that happened, I think, usually around A-level period, I feel is peak kind of orb time, or first year of university, maybe this new personality will get me over the territory, brother. Did you know any orb people?
I knew more Zorb people than I knew orb people. And never the twain shall meet, by the way.
That's
if you're
true.
in a Zorb ball, don't be fiddling around with them.
They're like gangs in the Warriors. They murk each other on sight.
Now, I've never orbed, but what I will say is that Bowie's not, amazing at orb.
But this is like the mid-'80s. It's kind of, it's before guys were doing it on unicycles with hats with feathers in it.
Yeah.
He hasn't even got a goatee, He hasn't even got his own small homebrew, He hasn't even... He doesn't also do magic on the weekends.
It was either this or the Devil Sticks, and I think they made the right choice with what.
He hasn't even got a podcast, I knew an orb guy, someone who became an orb guy, kind of late into, I would have met them when they were 15 or thereabouts. 17, they became an orb person. And they used to live in Palmerstown in Dublin. So they were salt of the earth, proper, old school Dublin. Dad was a taxi driver, lovely guy. And I remember going to his house and he showed it to me. And I go, what's that? And he goes, it's a gift. It's a crystal, an orb, nothing more.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was very good at it. And then I would take it, I'd drop it, and then you're not allowed to play with it anymore. No. And that was that,
But there's a lot of orb work in this, which is fun.
There is.
It does have a mysticism to it.
I like an orb. I do. Turn back, Sarah, before it's too late.
Right. We meet Hoggle. We meet little Hoggle.
Oh, yeah. He's a stone cold killer with a face like a roast dinner, this lad.
Why
wasn't he in Muppets Christmas Carol? He was great.
Yes. Now, what is he? What is Hoggle?
He's going around killing fairies.
What is he?
Great stuff. He's a cheeky chappy, Sam. We've talked about this before.
Answer the question. What is he?
He's a bloody bloke, all right?
He's a bloody good laugh, and he's my mate.
He's a fucking good lad, right? And he's the best man at my fucking second wedding, all right? He's the fucking man. He's the man, all right? And look, we all know that if the lads down at the pub had fairies flying around them, they'd be killing them just like Hoggle here. Yeah. So he's one of the lads.
She calls him Hogwart, which I did.
Yes, everyone gets his name wrong, which kind of... I only realised halfway through the movie when I made copious notes of me, for comic effects, mispronouncing his name as well. So we all get in on the fun.
Yeah. I don't know if that... Is Hogwart a thing the Harry Potter stuff?
Yes,
okay.
It is. most original ideas in Harry Potter are like
taken from something else.
You usually take them from something else, and
Okay.
a lot of the other ideas are something that ideas that come way after the thing has already come out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, retrospectively, like it was this. Like I bet none of you realized that Sam was actually black in the first 20 episodes of Cinema Swirl, but he was because I care a lot about that sort of thing.
Yes. So this bit here where she's starting to go into the labyrinth, right?
I thank you for doing the heavy lifting on that bit, because I wrote down she enters a meandering maze.
Yes, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
It's very much like the feeling that we all would have gotten in circa 1995. You're enjoying the home screen, you let it wander for a bit there, and all of a sudden, whoa, you're in a 3D maze and there's literally no way out.
Yes. Now, I'm going to try and describe the music here, and this is a risk because I know people are very fond of David.
That's my job, is to just discard beloved music.
Okay, but let me try. It sounds like David is fucking about with one of those keyboards you have in music class and accidentally creates the music for a Doom map. That's the drums, I think. It just sounds, it's so stumbling.
Look, we hedged our bets in 1986 that music was going to go a very specific, rigid direction. It, in fact, did not. And we are left with these intriguing relics of a world that could have been.
They're fascinating, and I do enjoy them. I must make that clear.
If it took that way, Sam, right, it took that route, I'd be the lad who hadn't seen the movies, and you'd be the... I'd have 11 guitars, he said. Is that it? 11?
Probably. Something like that.
You've lost count.
It's more than that. It's more, but they're all cheap. I never learn. So,
it makes me worried that, in terms of fire hazards, having an indeterminate amount of cheap guitars, that's a fire risk, isn't it? They're going to go up like fucking kindling.
Fine, whatever. So it's what Jimi Hendrix would have wanted. Right. There's a little weird worm lad who I love because he says hello, like Ollie Murs does in that song off his new album. So that made me very happy.
He's a cheeky chappy like Ollie Murs is, specifically in his new album. I thought you'd like this, an English character, and be like, oh, governor, have a cup of tea. And look, it is obviously laden with things to make you feel familiar. In Sam's case, there is an English worm offering tea.
Yeah.
In my case, there's electronic panpipes. I feel like I'm right back on Encarta. It's all good.
Yes.
I will say, Sarah, Jennifer Connelly, is a bit of a fucking misery guts at the start. She's like, oh, it's hopeless. You've been in the maze. I counted. It was 11 seconds before she declared it hopeless.
Look, you've forgotten what being a teenager is like. You would have been sick of this fucking maze within 13 seconds. You're like,
yeah, that's right. I remember being a teenager and giving up before I had save states on Game Boy games. Sure, yeah. Oh, what a small fuse I had now. Not like now. Not like now. Was you completed all the Mario World without dying once, Kevin? Yeah. It's that good. It's that good. There's actually a skill in creating the save state at just the right moment, And then when you make a save state that is slightly off time, that's like dying back when you didn't have save states.
Yeah, man. I mean, she does try and make save states throughout this, and they all get corrupted.
I love the look of this place, though.
It is mad. I love the little worm. He tells her which way to go, and then he's like, oh, if she'd have gone that way, she'd have gone straight to that castle. Like that. He's confused. It's funny.
Bit of British humour, that, isn't it? Like, a bit of British misdirection. Oh, if you went that way, you'd have a united Ireland. Oh, well. Oh, bloody worm. And, of course, goblins, notoriously the tricksters of the fantasy world, use perspective to hide hidden doors behind what appear to be walls.
They did. That was nice, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was.
That's fun.
The whole thing looks amazing. It's so stylized and so unique. And I say that knowing this movie came exactly 2 years after Neverending Story, which I feel like I retrospectively want to go back and beat the shit out of with you, having seen this, in my mind, frankly, way better movie.
Okay.
This is so much fucking better than that dog shit. This is the N64. That's the Sega Saturn, all right? Ooh, look, it's new. No. Better in every way possible. And it looks like a prog album cover. It's so good.
It is very good. It is nice to look at. Now, we get the iconic line or bit from this, the song. Remind me of the Babe. Reminds me of the Babe. Who reminds me of the Babe.
Voodoo. There you go.
Reminds me of the Babe. Is the Babe.
The way you're saying it there really makes it seem like an advert for a price comparison website.
Voodoo, you do, voodoo,
you do. Sam's left Cinema Swirl because he got a really sweet, let's call it what is a plum gig, being the face of Hoodoo Voodoo, and you want to check it out there. Yeah, a plum gig.
Yeah, that.
And it's because there was a big gap in the market after the Go Compare Man went down. Remember the Go Compare Man went down, Sam?
Yeah.
Often off camera, Sam and I talk about the O Compare Man going down. Do you remember why the O Compare Man went down, Sam?
He's really gone.
He's gone. He's gone for good.
They've removed any trace from the adverts. There was a bit where we'll take his face out. We'll remove any but now it's he's gone. He is gone.
Is the mustache offensive? Is that offensive?
We can't risk it. Get rid of it all.
It's kind of hot mic, wasn't he, Sam? Lost a plum gig because of a hot mic. He was kind of hot mic. And if you're unaware, folks, and you don't care, skip forward 10 seconds or so. But if you are unaware and you would like to know, the Go Compare Man was caught on a hot mic doing the Strictly Come Dancing arena tour where he opined about one of his female colleagues. Oh, I wouldn't mind spit roasting her. And what Sam and I say Sam and I said it at him, and then I'm like, Sam and I said... But the spit roasting, I believe that he was opining in regards to was the Go Compare Man, the character, and him, the performer.
Yes.
That's in his fantasy.
Because there were ads when they both were on screen at the same time.
Yeah. Hey, it's me. I'm the normal. I'm just a normal guy, and I wouldn't mind spit roasting her. And the other guy's just like, and the other guy's like, oh yeah, fucking go spit roast. I'll spit roast your stepmother now. And the guy's like, don't try to Go Compare Man into it because the character is innocent. It's that dirty operatic tenor. It's him, the pervert.
Are you getting enough sleep, Kevin? Is everything all right? Right, this song, the famous song. The Goblin song.
Dance, magic dance.
It sounds like Muppet David Bowie, which was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was any of the... You watched it last night, right?
Yeah,
Has any of the music been in your head today?
No. I don't think any of it was powerful enough to get through.
Do you think it'll, like a Papa John's, will it come back on you, do you think?
Maybe. I would...
2 days later, you go, ooh, and you taste it.
I'd be curious to listen to it again, because Sophie has kind of hyped this up as... a childhood favourite.
What was it like watching it with your fiancée, knowing the high bar of love that it had?
So I don't think she'd watched it for quite a while. So I'm not sure if she was sort of maybe going, yeah, it's good.
That's true love. You reevaluate your fave in light of your beloved and betrothed being underwhelmed by it. That is true love right there.
I was whelmed. I was just adequately whelmed. I was whelmed by it. Jennifer's marking her path.
You heard it here first.
I was whelmed. She's marking her path as she goes, but the little creatures keep sort of flipping it over, which is naughty. The goblin's jumping and obviously just being pulled up on strings. I love it.
What I like as well, much like how someone selling heroin on the streets will cut it with some baby powder or whatever it is. Oh, shut up about your baby, Jesus. But he has all these great puppets, but then there's also there's a couple of chickens wandering around.
Yeah.
It's a monkey with an Italian accent that turns the tile around. There's a couple of regular animals in there to kind of buttress, to kind of fill out the ranks.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair game, Maybe Muppets Christmas Carol put a few black chickens in there. Maybe he gets that 4th star wipe. Who knows?
Well, the song actually sounded a bit like Girls Just Want to Have Fun to me. I recalled that it had that sort of 80s tone to it.
David was being derivative. Is that what you're saying?
Derivative David Bowie. Right. Jennifer gets to 2 doors, right?
Oh, yeah. One is Irish and one is Scottish. The Englishman's worst nightmare. Oh, what am I going to have to fucking go through this and fucking talk to them, the fucking pricks.
At that point, I'd just turn around and go home, is what I'd do, you know.
Don't engage. It's not worth it, mate. It's not worth it, yeah?
Flee the scene. It's the thing where one always lies, one always tells the truth, and you can only ask one of them one question, and I never remember what the fucking thing is, but...
Oh, there's an easy trick to this, right? If anyone ever does that and they're like, oh, I tell a lie and I tell the truth, you look at them both and you go, guys, come on, it's me. And then you're sorted, you're golden, right? Now, as we're on the topic of labritos, as it were here.
Oh, delicious.
New Domino's labritos.
Domino's. Sorry.
Domino. But on that topic, I can't remember if it was Joe who said it to me or someone else. But if you apparently just go left the entire time, you'll always solve a labyrinth.
Surely
maze.
not.
Just go to the left. Now, I've used that to find my way out of... Because I get lost in our Minecraft world, frankly, all the time.
Okay.
But I found my way home true again by just turning to the left. It works in NASCAR. Does it work in mazes?
No, that can't work, because you would just go in a circle. But maybe that's what a maze is.
I turn to the left, nothing more.
She thinks she's got it right, but she doesn't, and she falls into
horrible pit. Horrible pit.
I want to say handhole, but that's not really what this is.
That's not nice sounding, is it? A handhole.
Falls into a pit and there's all hands, and they're all making
that's
faces.
Not a glory hole. That's a handhole. Get away from there. No, and they pull you in, don't they? They pull you in.
I think weirdly, of all the minging creatures in this, I think these fucking hands might be the worst for me. It's very reminiscent of fucking Neil Buchanan and all that. He would have done shit like this on Art Attack.
It's funny you mentioned it, because I did watch a little video essay about CITV classic Zap yesterday. And The Helping Hands, which was my absolute favourite part of Zap. And this reminds me of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Sam, no word of a lie, and you could probably tell already, I had a 5-star experience watching this movie that I'm, in fact, not technically reviewing with you. And this was the moment where I was like, Mr. Henson, I respect you. Now let's tear down this wall of indifference between me and the Muppets, because I'm ready for it. Because I thought the hands, the design of it all...
It's beautiful.
It was very arts festival in a good way. I really liked it. It was really good. I think they symbolized stuff. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch it again. But I thought when you're doing puppetry that is actually not using puppets and is using just painted up hands and stuff.
Yeah.
That was fucking good. That's really good. That was really fucking awesome. I thought it was very good. And it scared you say?
I can appreciate that it is both arts festival, brackets compliment, and scary at the same time. As some of the best art is, it was that just something about the way the hands were moving, and it's kind of like what I understand about Pan's Labyrinth with the hands in front of the eyes. It kind of had that feeling to it. It's all yucky. Ugh.
It was very yucky.
Yeah.
And the opposite of a yucky experience with the hands is when she is unleashed and released from the hand hole, she enters the oubliette, which is new favourite word?
One of the nicest mouthfeels. Oubliette.
Yes, I will have the poached oubliettes, please, with the balsamic reduction. Thank you very much.
A bubbly word, oubliette.
A bubbly word. And I'm assuming this fictional food is also a bubbly food as well, kind of like a cloud pancake or some such.
You don't struggle with oubliette, but Labyrinth is hard.
I tell you what, Sam, you just learned something wrong, and that's it, you know? And I'll use that with the child to be like, if you learn it wrong, you'll be making a show of yourself on podcasts for decades to come. I loved more than anything when David Bowie told a joke and the goblins didn't laugh, and he went, well, laugh. And then they laughed.
Come on.
Which is very much the Jeb Bush, please clap. You remember Zeb Bush doing Zeb Bush, please clap. Please. I'm not my brother. I would have done Iraq differently, but the same.
I'm not a war criminal. Right.
I'm not a war criminal. I'm just a man.
It's quite fun to just do Bowie, isn't it?
It is.
If we put some reverb on some of these and kind of repeat it.
Look, I'm not saying
a man.
Just a man in Iraq in the war. Just a man in Baghdad, what are we fighting for? And look, it wouldn't be one of the good ones, but it would have been like 98 Bowie or 03 Bowie or 04 Bowie after they threw a pen in his eye and he was all sorts of discombobulated. That's great. I found that out right when I was reading his Wikipedia page, finding out about him being a great web designer as opposed to any of the other dodgy stuff that we had heard about previously.
Yeah.
That he was like taken down, like literally, like nearly like career-ending injury when someone threw a pen in his eye.
Oh no!
And I've told the story before when I saw Paul McCartney live and he did 3 encores. And at the end of the 3rd encore, someone fucked a marker right at him, and he went "ooh," and he walked off, and that was the end of the show. How close it could have been to the end of Paul McCartney, and here he is, literally 20 years later, still going.
I'm just thinking about Oubliette now. I've just got Oubliette. In the Oubliette. And tell you what.
Fun to say.
Who's in the Oubliette? Hoggle. I'm going to get his name right. I'm going to do the nice thing there and just get it correct.
Did you not like Hoggle? I'm getting the sense that Hoggle was not your favourite. He's a little bit Lord of the Ringsy for you, maybe, was he?
He's a bit manky. Does that mean?
He'd be stealing all of Bilbo's spoons, this lad, I think.
Yeah, he's got that energy to him. I don't mind him. There's characters I liked more. I did like the faces in the stone saying, "No, don't go that way."
They all look like Sylvester Stallone, which I enjoyed. The negging walls, it's good. Yes. And basically their whole thing is that they're there to tell you to turn around and face certain doom. Again, very charming. Love the design. Love the It's not, when you're manipulating a puppet, it's not animation. What's the word for that? When you're like the moving of the puppet bits, the meat of the puppet. That is in itself, because I thought puppetry encapsulates the creation of the puppet, the presentation of the puppet. And I'm talking about the actual
articulation.
That's like saying, you're telling me cooking, and I want to be like, yeah, but the braise is the bit I'm interested in. You know what I mean?
I don't know. We'll have to go on the puppetry Reddit to find out. Oh, imagine
that's a fun Reddit. I imagine is all sorts of memes and whatnot there.
There's fun British voices in this, which I did like. Bowie's back and he's threatening Hoggle and saying, "Look, if you don't lead this girl back to the start, I'm going to dangle you over the bog. I'm going to dip you into the bog of eternal stench."
Dangle is bad, but a dip.
Yeah, you go from a dangle to a dip.
In like places like in America where they're like, they'll do the dip sandwich, they'll dip it in an entire sandwich in just dangle mine, please. I'm all right, Adam. Just dangle mine. I'll dangle it over if you don't mind. You don't need to dip my roast beef sandwich into the bog of stench and despair, whatever it is it's called.
The bog of eternal stench.
I love Hoggle's line. "Understand my position. I'm a coward." Great stuff. I thought he'd be your favourite with stuff like that coming out of him.
It's the British international policy.
That's what we call soft power. Understand my position. I'm a coward, and that's why please don't take any more sausages. I really.
They don't get taken to the cleaners. They get chased by the cleaners, which is a sort of rotating wall that's coming down the cave tunnel that they're in.
That's just engineering, Sam. Again, very impressive.
Tell you what it reminded me of? Your Elden Rings, your Zeldas, any of your fantasy games and all your kind of weird shit where there's little men puppeting a thing that rotates and will kill you. It felt like that.
And there's somewhere online someone saying that you need to be better at the difficult game. It kind of had that element to it as well, where it's quite difficult. And many people probably think it needs to be more difficult, if anything.
Yeah.
And that the fault lies with you and the game developers and the game itself that you're struggling with it.
I do wonder if in a different era, Hoggle would have been a kind of keyboard warrior, kind of a shit poster, just being like, get good.
A Hoggle does seem like the handle of a ne'er-do-well. It does, honestly. Oh, don't listen to Hoggle on Game Facts. He's always saying awful stuff, he is. Awful stuff.
She steals his jewels. She steals Hoggle's jewels to get him to help her out.
Could have just asked. You don't need to steal jewels. You could have just asked for help, you know?
No.
Some people would rather steal Hoggle's jewels than ask for help.
Well, in a way, later on, in a way, quite soon afterwards, she steals his heart because there's a weird old man with a bird on his head.
Oh, I love this. Is a great bit of puppetry right here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I've not said that's a great bit of puppetry since my trip to Prague. This has been such a delight. But he gave big free fringe energy because he did his little bit, and then he had his little buckets at the end asking for money. We need to take the train home, please.
In the afternoon, that bird head would have had the flies in it and would have been handing them out. I
told you we should have done a bird head, Sam. It would have been so much easier.
So many mistakes. He's asking, like, who is this? To Hoggle. And she says, that's my friend. And you see little Hoggle, like, look up. Like, a friend? Like, he's never been considered someone's friend before, and that's quite meaningful to him. He does then expand on that later, but he's confused by, I'm your friend, that's nice.
We hear some horrible roars in the distance.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you hear horrible roars, it's got to be a bit of misdirection. And it is what I would consider to be the statement puppet of the piece, Ludo.
Yeah, like Ludo.
Big boy. I'd like a big, cuddly Ludo, I think, in the corner of the house, you know? If I had too much space, which I don't.
How are we describing Ludo? Sort of orangutan bear thing?
I would describe him, Sam, generously as George Lucas's interest in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big time, yes.
Yeah. He's a big simpleton with a heart of gold who could kill you just as easily.
They're just lovely, weird lads who want to be mates, but they're a bit outcast by their community.
It's, dare I say, Sam, a foolproof formula. A bunch of misanthropic yet cuddly monster / teddy bears. They didn't even sell that many toys of these. What's wrong with you, you fools? There wasn't even a Saturday morning cartoon of this. We've been talking about a sequel for literally a decade and it's still not happened. And you're going to put in Alexander Skarsgård? Skarsgård. That's your follow-up to Bowie. Come on now.
Well, let's not rule him out, because I could see Skarsgård pulling that off.
Name 2 websites he's done, Sam.
Well,
rest my case.
Yeah,
rest my case. Right. Couldn't webmaster a ham sandwich.
Essentially, the plot of this movie is we go through this labyrinth and we just find quirky characters and we interact with them and then we keep going. Is that a good or a bad thing? Not sure.
For this type of movie, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We went from A to B to C to D to E to F to G. H, I, J, K and the rest all followed shortly thereafter. There was never us hanging around too long, all a brisk pace, you know? And when the movie has such interesting things to show you, when you show up in a new setting and you're like, there's going to be a funny voice, there's going to be either creepy or a cute puppet or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that there wasn't was any puppet that was something for Dad. You know, that was other than that, it was.
Well, no, there's the stepmom at the start, so that's
that's barely. Come on. But yeah, I thought it was fine in that when it's like basically saying, did the magician do too many tricks?
Yeah.
I want to see lots of different. Did the comedian tell too many jokes in an adventure like this? I would like to see lots of this. Suppose the never-ending story, which like get the fuck on with it. Oh my god,
never starting story. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on. Oh, you want to talk about the fucking Dust Bowl in Oklahoma? Get on that yellow brick road, you prick. Come on.
I am realising that we're kind of going through and we're sort of amassing a party, and it feels a bit like an RPG.
A little bit of a Chrono Trigger Final Fantasy V vibes. I say that having played the first 5 Final Fantasy games.
And if you're friendly, you can get through it as well. There's almost an Undertale to this. There's almost a little bit of, you can see how these kinds of fantasy stories have trickled into all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was expecting the party members to have their own unique dialogue with each other while I'm just getting on, sorting out the inventory. No, it's fine, Alf. I'll do the emotional labor of deciding what you wear, what you fucking eat. No, you just
challenge yourself.
Flow on.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Dinner's ready. Yeah.
We bump into a couple of knobs, Kevin. Door knobs, that is. Yeah. There's. Kevin, it's either a couple of knobs or a couple of knockers, and either way, it's a bit of blue.
Something for Dad.
This is proper fucking Muppet shit, this, where we've got 2 door knockers.
These were the Tony and Marley from the Christmas thing, wasn't it? Like, I'm old and I'm a prick. You know, those 2. Y'all fucking love them.
Yeah. One's got the ring through his ears, one's got the ring through his mouth. One is like muffled and mumbling. The other one's like, what? I can't hear you. That's good comedy. That is good.
I liked most about this is that because they were all the puppets and all the guys in it were all like, basically there was a big label on the start of this movie where it's like, there's going to be full of horrible little freaks and creeps.
Yeah.
Big pile of fucking garbage monsters. And I like that so much more than, look how cute they are. And Alf's not cute. He's horrible. Kill him. But if Alf was like, I came from the bog of undescribable stink, I'd be like, all right, Alf is pretty fucking cool, man. I like Alf.
Now we're cooking.
Alf's smelly like me.
Is Alf we've talked about this before. Is Alf a TV series or a film?
A little bit of both, I think, Sam.
Okay. Maybe we need to...
He's a media property, is what he is.
He's valuable IP.
He's back in Pog form, allegedly.
I do like the running gag of everyone getting Hogwarts' name wrong. That comes up again. Bowie says, I'll make you a prince.
He's going to rename the baby. He's getting on... the baby, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it made me seriously think, like, if it comes to nursery time, I'll be searching out for the Goblin Nursery because baby is settled.
Yeah.
Baby seems to be, like... alert, taking in everything. Lots of different people coming in, checking on baby. Doesn't seem like David is bad. David was very good with the child. And he also comes up with a much better name. He's going to name them Jareth. Because who wants their child to be called Toby? Someone who's not got a carvery, I hope.
Yes. And thank you to any Tobys who are listening.
Yeah, guys, seriously, the meat is succulent. The gravy is flowing. It's good.
Yeah. The one in Lincoln is closed. It's closed down.
Damn. That's it. That's really sad. I find out that like Glasgow Central Station is like burnt down, and like I'm like, oh, poor Glasgow used to live there, and now I find out that Toby Carvery in Lincoln is gone. Oh, poor Lincoln.
All of the institutions are gone.
It stood for 170 years, and I do love as well, Sam, that we simultaneously praised Undertale and then buried the name Toby all in one 5-minute swoop.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm still a fan of the name Toby. Thanks, Toby, for listening. And I'm talking to you.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying I don't like the name Toby.
Wow.
I'm just saying I prefer the name Jareth.
Okay, yes. All right, fair.
And if you're listening, you're Toby, and you're like, you really don't think Jareth would fit you better? Try it out.
Yeah.
Try it out.
give it a go just one day. Just
for a day.
Like, I'm Jareth now.
Just get some Tipex and put it on your passport. Scratch off your debit card and write Jareth on it instead.
Do we have the bit where Bowie has given Hoggle a peach to give to Sarah?
He would do anything to avoid the bog of eternal stench.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas I'd visit at least. But yeah, Hoggle is a sellout. He has sold his soul to the devil himself.
Yes. But before he gets to enact that plan, it's green screen time.
This is the one bit that was like shockingly ugly. I thought this was like a deleted scene that had kind of stumbled its way back into the movie. It felt like one of those FMV point-and-click games on the MS-DOS back in the day. It didn't fit. I thought if I was to cut anything from this movie and bring it down to a lean, mean 90 minutes, it had been this sequence, but the music was still good. I'll give it that.
I'm not sure I would give it that either.
Sam, everyone loves when David Bowie has a go at reggae.
Yeah, some people love that. You know when I forced you to watch the extended cut of Muppets Christmas Carol and it had like an extra song in it and you were like, that probably, I didn't need that. This is that of that. Like the purists would put this on the Disney Plus expanded mega edition, but no one really wants it.
Yeah, but at least that one was like Michael Caine being like, here's the reason why I'm sad. I'm so lonely now. Whereas this one is like, hey kids, having fire is fun. And then the Paul McCartney asks, what's going to be, man? I'll be the top of the air now.
Chilly down with the fire gang is what they keep saying. And they're ripping their heads off.
I'll call them what they are, Sam.
Yeah.
These are a bunch of fucking Muppets, all right? That's all. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
If Kermit became a pyromaniac, these lads would show up and take the fall.
But in a film that's full of like tactile, real sets and painted backgrounds and all feels very physical, this green screeny bit just looks so out of place. It probably did at the time as well, but...
Do you reckon it's because they were very waifish and flimsy, these puppets? Do you think it's for that reason they couldn't have them be like on the ground? They'd perish. the felt wouldn't take.
Just try a different approach rather than go. But, look, it was the 80s and they were like, let's embrace new technology and try something. So fair enough, but this is the worst bit.
Every child watching this in the 80s and the 90s was like, when are they going to get to the bog of big smelly farts?
Well,
and here we are, the bog of indeterminate stench.
Yes.
I know, Sam, it must be the worst thing ever. A bog that smells like burps, right?
Yeah.
Right, Sam?
Yeah.
I have told so many people that since we recorded that episode.
And they've all agreed with me and said,
201,
great.
they think you're fucking insane.
Okay.
They're now more surprised about that than you've not seen certain movies or had not seen certain movies.
I don't think we should do another podcast where it's just me talking about how burps are worse than farts. It's not on the same level as Cinema Swirl as a concept, but it does make me unique.
90-hour. That could be a limited series of 91-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Where we really drill down into how incorrect we were with that very flippant statement. And I get it. You're married to that statement now. You're welded to it. You have to stand by it.
Yeah, I agree with it. I think they're worse.
All I can say is, if you're in Sam's company and you burp. Watch out,
yeah,
all right?
Steady on.
I will. If I'm in your presence, I won't fart out of politeness.
Yeah, you have.
But I'll burp and apologize.
Oh,
I'll
know.
pop that out and I'll say sorry. How do you know, Sam? How do you know?
Because I've been around you when you've been burping. And you're just laughing at how funny it is, and secretly I'm like, this is great.
I found my stand-up book from Lincoln, and I wrote down a space that said sketch ideas, and there was one, and it said burp bus, because I was on a shuttle bus from Riza home to the Brayford Wharf, and I was the only one on the bus, and I had windy pops, so I was burping on my own on the bus, and I thought it was the funniest thing. But for Sam, that's Speed. That's a really high-octane, thrilling, horrible situation.
I can appreciate both being funny. And I don't like either. I need to make that clear. Don't want either. Don't think farts are good. Don't get in contact with me about that, please. No, I don't like that.
I'll tell you what, Sam. If this bus hits less than 30 burps a minute, though, it's going to be pretty much an explosion, and not the type that comes out your ass.
No.
Have you seen Speed?
Yes, I have seen Speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought we get to do Speed 2 cruise control,
I know.
But alas.
Well, I haven't seen that, but I have seen Speed 1. The Bog of Eternal Stench, very funny.
Lived up to the hype.
There's water that farts. That's funny.
Oh, man, the stones fart when they walk on the stones.
Yeah.
This had big, LucasArts point-and-click game energy to it.
Who's this little taxidermy fox-looking guy? Who's this? The little, I'm not going to let anyone pass. Oh, terribly sorry.
Him.
Yeah, that guy.
Someone should get the stick out of his ass.
He's a job's worth. He's like, well, no, I need to get permission in order for you to pass. We can't. But
you know what? I'll give Terry Jones this.
Yeah.
Such is the latent Britishness of that man's writing. It somehow survived the most American co-executive producers on planet Earth.
Yeah.
George Lucas manages to maintain regional Britishness in this. That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
That's strong stuff, Terry.
Is Terry Jones one of the less problematic, Monty Python ones?
What do you determine as he's one of the less divorced Monty Python characters?
More just the least annoying. I'm not saying they've necessarily done anything bad. I'm just saying that,
Well, look, everyone thinks John Cleese is the most annoying, and no one is going to deny that. Terry Gilliam has said some stuff that's not great. All right, Grandpa, time to take you out back and kill you, you fucking allegiance. And I think Eric Idle is, as my mum would say, a prat. My mum feels about Eric Idle the way that she feels about Paul McCartney. Doesn't trust him. Right. Doesn't like that other people like him. Eric Idle is Joe's fave, and I took Joe to see Eric Idle live in Manchester. He was for his 90th birthday, whatever it is, age-old man that he is. And he was like, I'm going to tell some stories and play some silly songs about my career. I'm like, this is great. Yeah. It's great. He came out and he'd be like, always look on the bright side of life. But then my friend George Harrison died, and then he spends 20 minutes detailing the mugging that led to his death. And then singing a sad where it's like, I had a friend, I lie, and now he dies. And then after that, it's like, and then I met my friend Robin Williams. Always look on the bright side of life.
And then Robin committed suicide in 2014.
And then Robin didn't come to the Monty Python reunion special, and then he died. And then there was a couple of other people who had died. The second half was mostly him
recounting deaths.
Or recounting deaths.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, if your parents of a certain age, they get into that Lydia Soprano, like, oh, those poor people. That. And then right at the end, for the fourth time, he's like, one more time, everyone. After I've detailed the death and suicide of all these famous beloved icons.
Yeah.
And he was a bit tired at that point as well. He grew up in Swinton.
Yeah. Did he? Eric Idle?
Yeah. Eric Idle.
Yeah.
Him and Ridge Holland. So, sweeten the sour.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah. I don't know enough about Terry Jones, but I know he's no longer with us. But I
generally thought you were about to don't know enough about Ridge Holland. What's he been doing recently?
I know one main thing. I don't know much else about Ridge.
I view Terry Jones as the soft power of Monty Python, as in the guy who I think probably did the most invisible labour that got it.
Yes.
He did a lot of the unglamorous stuff like the writing and the producing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that when he passed away, he hadn't really a penny left to his name and all that.
Yeah.
Which seems to happen to a lot of the Pythons. But
yeah.
Top tier writing, great screenplay, Terry. Good job, TJ.
Good stuff. So we've got another lad in our party because they just asked permission of the weird fox guy to get by, and he's like, okay, I'll come with you. He's riding the dog like it's a horse.
Is he a fox or is he a chihuahua? I thought he was like a little chihuahua-y type of thing. You own a dog, so I thought you'd know this.
He's something. I don't think anything is defined in this. They're not, real.
They're creatures.
They're not creatures of Earth. They are creatures. They're not animals. They're creatures.
Yes. The dog riding a dog running across a series of stones that fart in higher and higher octanes. That's peak YouTube 2007 is what that is. That's what we need to get back to,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Less manosphere, more dogs riding dogs on farts, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Do a documentary on that, Louis Theroux, yeah? Do you really ride the dog? Woof, woof.
My favourite Louis Theroux thing is when someone says something weird, he goes, meaning? Just to get them to expand on it. Like, what does that mean?
And then after they tell him what it's meaning, you go, really?
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 Meaning?
He's sassy on his podcast, though. He's a catty fellow.
Yeah.
He's very catty.
Naughty lad.
Naughty Louis Theroux. Let Kyle MacLachlan talk about his career. Why did you do that? Well, the reason. Why? What? Really? Well, I thought Showgirls was one of that. Really? You gonna do something about it, you little bitch? Little Dougie Jones bitch? Gonna do something about it? No, I'm sorry, I won't. I just thought I want to do a podcast as well. Shut up. No one does podcasts but me. You dig?
You dig?
I just thought I'd meaning. No, I'll just leave the Spotify studio now. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't come back, yeah? Or get my friend Ramesh to come after you as well, yeah? He's a bad motherfucker, yeah?
Really?
Meaning, he'll fuck you up, yeah?
So, Hoggle gives Sarah
deceptive Hoggle.
The evil peach given to him by David. And then she sort of gets high as a kite, I think, is the implication here. Like, she's like, everything's dancing.
Sort of an opium-laced peach. Now, I read this incorrectly. I thought it was a poison apple. And then when I found out later it was in fact a poison peach, I just said, better avoid all fruit, folks, because poison apples have a bad rep, and if the peaches are poison as well, and they also put razor blades in half the fruit these days, just avoid it. Have a Snickers instead,
That's the Cinema Swirl policy. No fruit, please.
I think so. No fruit, please. Thank you.
So there's a, bubble from one of the orbs that she goes into.
It was like a quad orb, I believe.
And it contains a weird masquerade ballroom scene
that contains a David Bowie B-side, or as they're also known, a David Bowie Z-side.
It's a very soppy, silly, weird love song. He's dancing with this
B-side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's dancing with Sarah, who is canonically and literally a teenage girl. Not sure what it's meant to mean.
You know, the phrase has exited his lips before. It's like, you're canonically and literally a teenage girl.
But thankfully, she does break out of the zone.
Is that what your Zorb friends used to do? They have to escape an orb like this. So every time you leave a Zorb, you're like, yeah, like smashing out.
You see it from the outside, and it looks like they're having fun and rolling down a hill. But inside, it's a fucking nightmare. There's like music, and you're dancing with David. She can't remember any of the stuff that she's meant to remember, what she's meant to be doing.
Oh, I love this bit. This bit of sad and weird and sad.
It's so weird. Like there's like an old woman with loads of stuff.
A dump crone, Sam.
That took me by surprise. Dump crone. There's a dump crone here, and
I checked in the credits. They're credited as junk lady.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie. If I got in the room with Terry and George and Jim, and I said the words dump crone, I think I would have gotten a writing credit, and they would have just penciled that in. I think.
I hear drunk lady. I raise you dump crone. So the dump crone is here, and she's just sort of leading Sarah back to her actual bedroom, and Sarah's like, "Oh, it was just a dream." And then she goes back outside the bedroom again, and it's not a dream. The dump crone is still there, brings all the stuff from the dump.
Bunch of chat from her childhood, basically.
Here's all your old toys. Here's your memories. And it's all junk, but it's also precious memories. And I don't understand. There must be loads of like clever symbolism in this film. I will say that.
Oh yeah, I thought it was meant to be like kind of distracting your heart's desire with like materialism and just a bunch of junk. And it was hard for me to get around that because honestly, Lancelot is such a great name for a teddy bear. I would have been like, fill me up, dump crone.
Fill me up, dump crone is not great.
I wrote down here as well, this scene but set in 2023 and it's just Funko Pops. Look, it's your Michael Corleone, yeah? It is. And it's your Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
And there's your Michael Corleone from Godfather 3 is here as well. Yeah. All your favourites. Remember them?
The lad who does the bowling in Big Lebowski. Jesus.
Jesus. It's a Funko Pop of a pedophile. You love these. They're great for the kids, these, though, aren't they? They're great.
Great stocking fillers for the kids.
Great stocking fillers.
She breaks through the room and she realizes, oh no, I remember what my... and now she's back with the gang and the mission continues. She's managed to get through that.
Right outside Goblin City,
yeah.
Remembering, oh yeah, there is in fact a baby that I am. Like, I feel like I'm probably preempting this a little bit, but it seems like it's a bit of a Wild West situation with the babysitters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get it's like a step relative or whatever it is here, but feels like a bit of a Wild West situation. As a former teacher and someone who's done like acting roles that have required a DBS as well.
Yeah.
We need to check out these babysitter club babysitters. They're solving mysteries and murders. Are the kids being looked after?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm a little bit scared.
It was a different time. There's a big scary door monster thing. A sort of big...
Another George Lucas special this was because when Hoggle took over, and Hoggle is apologised for being...
being naughty.
Piece of shit for being less than a dump crone.
Yeah.
He takes over this big robot. And look, I'll call it what it is. It's basically Return of the Jedi when Chewie gets in the AT-ST with an Ewok. And I'm a silly little guy. How do I pilot this big death machine of war? Great stuff.
Yeah.
And they're in Goblin City. The fact that I get to use the term Goblin City, move over European city of culture, there's a new title to fight over for Scarborough. I want to become Goblin City, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And this is very ambitious. The scale of this, we have like basically Goblin Civil War here.
Yeah, it's good. There's a whole Goblin army trying to stop them. There's fun music. There's like actually fun music. There's rocks being rolled around to knock over the Goblin soldiers. We get an actual little battle.
Explosions. Like honestly, from watching Muppet Christmas Carol, where the intricacy of the scenery and the fact there were so many different little moving parts at once was always like, whoa, that's incredible. But it felt at any time it's like, right, we're going to do something where there are legs. And the whole movie's like, to try and make that happen. And here we are with like, this is a full-scale battle.
Yeah.
This must have taken fucking forever.
Yeah.
Horrible to do.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
Very fun to watch. A good battle. All of our little gang get little things to do.
Yes.
But finally, Sarah makes it to, I guess, the castle door. Like, she's going to go into the main bit.
Yeah, she jettisons her party to confront the Goblin King alone. And the Goblin King, when you realise that David is, let's be honest, not that great an actor, because the one change of emotion he has in the entire movie is when he expresses alarm that they have reached his gates. And he goes, "She must be stopped." Do you want to do that again? Nah, it's all right. We're happy that you're here. We're happy that you're here. Upside down David Bowie in a mazy maze within a labyrinth.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Although I will say, isn't that like that's an existing painting? That's a less of an original thought, I thought that was. So I was a little disappointed on that front. But pretty cool here, you know? It's coming to a head, you know? I don't know if it's as impactful as all the madness that came before it, however.
No, as a final showdown, it's maybe a little bit of a anticlimax slightly. We do get a cool illusion room with all weird physics and stuff.
You should be grateful. Grateful.
When she jumps down and lands on kind of like the final platform bit, it feels very much like the last level of an early Super Smash Brothers thing. Like it's the final
new record.
It's the final sound.
I'm just a big hand.
And we had all those little hands earlier. Ugh. All she has to do really to stop the Goblin King and make all of this go away and finally kill David is to just say the lines. You've got to say the little end of the line, which I think is like, "You have no power over me."
You've no power over me.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a pile of rags. I know what you're thinking. Why did they never arrest David Bowie for all the alleged crimes? Every time they slapped the cuffs on him, anytime they clapped him in irons, just turned to rags.
Yeah.
You can't arrest rags.
Now, that was one of his best songs, actually. You Can't Arrest Rags. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Can't arrest rags. Ah, damn it, boys. Gather them up and put them in the garage. We'll use them later when we're cleaning up.
Does he transform into a CGI owl at that point?
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, fine.
The owls are not what they seem there, in fact. David Bowie.
Yes.
And she gets home. The baby is safe.
Yep.
Definitely needs a change at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think David's been doing much in that regard, I don't believe. And look, the moral of the story is this, because you see in her bedroom afterwards, there is like a goblin statue that is clearly David Bowie. When you're buying your pewter statue down at the market in Blackpool, just be careful, it could contain a Goblin King therein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be careful. She does, in the mirror, after all this adventure, she sees her little pals who are all one by one talking to him, like, "If you ever need us, just call." And she says to Hoggle, "I need you." And I thought that was going to be like a little sort of, and then fade out, and then it's okay. But no, they have a little
we have
party.
A full-on party.
Yeah.
Everyone's necking pints, shotgun in cans, fucking great.
What a fucking mad film.
I fucking loved it, Sam. I loved it so much. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. And I get the sense that you liked it.
I liked it. Yeah.
And I don't know if my manic enthusiasm was enough to egg you on into liking it more, which is fair, because if there ever was a movie that you were probably destined to have a bit of an extra push to like more, probably your fiance's like one of their favourite movies. I'm assuming that's going to do more than I ever possibly could.
That has helped. But you have also, I think, given this a bit of a buff in my mind. In talking about it, I have perhaps realised that there was more enjoyment there than I realised. But
there was some things you didn't enjoy, and was it because it was like creepy puppets that weren't nice?
Yeah, so I think I'm weirdly comparing this to Muppets Christmas Carol, and I think the sense of humour is there, but it's not quite the same. I think and the music, I think, weirdly, even though it is international pop sensation David Bowie.
I think we'd say, even though it's International Women's Day, obviously I want to. But when's International David Bowie Day? Sorry, David Bowie's Day.
Despite that, the music is a bit fucking... it's all a bit creepy and weird and a bit sort of off. I think
that's why I like it.
That's the charm of it. I'm realising that, but I think when it's puppets and stuff, I do like cute and cuddly, not necessarily wet and minging.
But look, at least we can both say we love Jim Henson's puppetry efforts for different reasons now. That's not so bad. And I think the thing that's most astounding to me is how it's a couple of very strong creative influences that shouldn't work together from very different wheelhouses.
Yes.
And yet, it all comes together to make a disgusting, delightful mess. Sam, it's the doner kebab topped pizza. I'll give it that.
Oh, yeah. I think it
dirty.
is.
It's nasty. It comes from literally different worlds under the same house. And here it comes.
And it's farting as you sort of look at it. There's farts coming out of it. It just keeps making fart noises.
I didn't think if I ordered from the bog of indeterminate stench, I'd have such a good time. They're getting 6 stars.
Yeah. Is it Just Eat that does that?
It does, yes. Okay. And also, their new thing, which is invisible reviews. You can no longer see the reviews.
Oh.
I know.
Well, you can see the star rating, though, but you can't see what people actually say.
Yeah. So, and you can't see, because what I would always do, Sam, is I go by most recent and see if there's a string of 1 stars, we're stopping.
Yeah. Because no matter how good you've been in the past, if you're shit now...
that's it. I've been let down, Sam.
Yeah.
But were you let down by this movie?
I wasn't let down.
Feels like you've had a good time, but not the greatest of times.
I think that's fair. I think there's... And I know people love this, and I'm worried I'm going to get into your situation where next episode I'm going to have to read out a letter, and everyone's going to be very angry at me.
Sam, have a child. You can get away with all sorts of shite, like, you know. I fucking walk around and do whatever I want now, and I got a baby, and I was like, oh, would you look at them? I'm like, yeah, right. Sure.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed it. I think there's a layer of jankiness to it, but I'm coming around to seeing that as charming and part of the appeal. I could come back to this, I would imagine. It's
a good Sunday afternoon movie, I'll give it that.
Yeah, but for me, this was Wednesday night, which I don't think was the right time for watching this.
I wonder, and this is interesting to get your opinion on it, because obviously it's kind of a musical, but not really a musical. It'd be a musical to show someone who claims they hate musicals, I guess.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last 20 years or so since I last seen this, in my mind, this is the David Bowie codpiece movie.
Yeah. There's not that much of that.
It is that, but it's also so much more. I feel this movie it's not gotten a bad reputation, but I feel the reputation it's gotten is somewhat narrower than what it has. It is unquestionably, in my mind, the most impressive puppetry expression of that art form I've ever seen. It was intricate, it was gross, the variation was incredible. It didn't rely on you already having strong memory, because I feel with a lot of the Muppet stuff, like people see Kermit and their heart melts, and people see Miss Piggy and they get really turned on. I didn't have that. You know, I didn't have that. No. And here I was impressed they managed to get such a strong lineup of very heartwarming, gross characters. Yeah. And they did it all in 90 minutes. That's pretty good.
They did. Here's what I'll say about this film. It's very imaginative. It was an Imaginarium.
I can't believe we watched Neverending Story before. Like, can't we watched that shite before this? Oh my God.
I liked it. I did like it. And I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed talking about it with you. I enjoyed watching it with Sophie. I enjoyed that Stanley was fast asleep and didn't bark at any of the weird minging creatures, which he absolutely would have done had he have been conscious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to get through it had he been, fully awake.
Oh. Well, enjoy that while it lasts, mate, yeah. On that note then, Sam.
Yeah.
For the great and peculiar Labyrinth. Your starlight, your stars I'm blazing.
Okay, you and Sophie have given this a 0.5 buff. So at home you can do the maths to work out what my original feeling was here. For Labyrinth, I'm giving it 4 star wipes.
You heard it here first.